AQ4B grammar screencast. And in this presentation, we're going to be covering nouns in Greek, first, second declension, first variant. Those are review, as well as third declension, talk about adverb positives as well as prepositions. So when we look at first declension nouns in Greek with the Latin to the side here, we're going to see quite clearly that first declension has that alpha and eta dominance. Of course, as you go through it, we have here this is a slide controller that is in the wrong place. But as you can see here, you have clearly a set. Let's see if we can make this a little smaller. There we go. As you can see, you've got yeah, well, there it is. You've got first and alpha and eta, as well as as and ace constructions. These are declensions that, though they are technically first declension, they tend to be masculine. You, stratiatu, that tells you what it is. So as you go through it, it would be thalata, thalatain, thalate, thalates, thalatai, thalatas, thalatais, and thalaton, versus gnome, gnomane, gnome, gnomes, gnomai, gnomas, gnomais, gnomon. And then we continue onward with neanias, neanion, neania, neaniu, neaniai, neanias, neaniais, neanion. As you can see, it's all rather straightforward. Now, let's see how well you did. So, which of these adjectives is going to agree with what we're dealing with here? Let's see if I can fix this. There we go. That's a little better. Let's go back. So, we have hi, blank, hudriai. So, we clearly see it's nominative and it's plural. The definite article confirms that it's feminine, and therefore the answer would be number 4. Ta Martha. Well, no, it's not Ta Martha. Martha is a person's name, a woman's name, and a woman would be singular, and it would be nominative. So the K. Change from singular to plural. So we have here singular. Tein oikion. Let's first figure out the case. Tein oikion is accusative. It's singular, and the gender tells you from the definite article that it's feminine. So it would be tas oikias, number 1. All right, let's move on to the first declension variant. As well, we've already covered the first declension variant. Let's cover the second declension. So here we have anthropos, anthropon, anthropo, anthropou, anthropoi, anthropous, anthropois, anthropon, which is very similar to the Latin. Then, of course, you have the neuter, ergon, ergon, ergo, ergu, erga, erga, ergois, ergon. Let's see how well you captured that. Transform to the dative case. Hoi, argoi, douloi, the lazy slaves. So what do we have here? Dative, first choice would be not dative. The second choice, you see that ois. That tells you clearly dative. Transform to the accusative. The accusative, you'll know in Latin is a long OS, I mean the second declension. But here you have us, which is really the same thing. Finally, transform sigma. Hetairu, the u tells you it's genitive, and it's singular. Genitive singular, because you have 2 here. So what would be the plural of 2 hetairu? That'd be genitive plural would be hetairon. Now to talk about the third declension, which is a bit of a stem change involved. As you can see in third declension in Latin, you have stem change with consol to consolen. In Greek, you have a radical stem change as well. Gune, gunaika. That's from accusative and onward you get the stem change. Gunaiki, gunaikos. The glossary will list the genitive. That tells you the new stem. Gunaikes, gunaikas, gunaiksin, gunaikon. So therefore the third declension is mostly going to be these alphas, iotas, os, ace, as, sin, and con. Why is it sin and not sin like it is over here in pragmat sin? Well, that's easy. Well, it says it's easy, but it's easy. What that means is that you have a sigma plus a kappa equal a c. While the neuter, same neuter rule, nominative and the accusative are the same, pragma, pragma. Notice we have the stem change coming up here. Well, I thought the stem change only occurred after the nominative. Yes, but in the neuter, nominative and accusative are the same. So it's pragmati, pragmatos, pragmata, pragmata, pragmasin, pragmaton. Let's see how well we got that. Ton, that tells you it's genitive plural. Which is genitive plural here? Fulacon. The rest of these? Oh, fulax, fulaka. Ah, I see a third declension. Very good. Ooh, it'd be fun if we played with ho there. Because that first choice is genitive and not nominative. Because it's third declension, different family. Te matri, you see iota at the end. You also see te. Te tells you it's dative. The tais says it's dative. So therefore we have to find the tais, which was the dative plural, and that would be matrase. Moving on, say, the gamma, o pater. Well, it looks like the nominative. It's actually, though, that o is not a ho, it's vocative. And therefore, it's really pater, so therefore, what would the plural nominative be? Pateres, which is the same as the vocative. Adverbs. Well, first off, here's some common third declension nouns. You have these in your new Enchiridion, or old Enchiridion, depending on what year it is. In the quick-fire challenge, we see two. Two is genitive singular. Which one of these is genitive singular? Well, what declension is it? As, e, os. The only noun that has that stem change is going to be third declension, and therefore it's kemonos. Tes, gunaikos. Oh, when I see gunaikos, I really want to go here. I really want to go to a nice ending, but that's not the case. This is a three-termination adjective that follows first and second declensions. So, the tes, though, tells me it's genitive feminine singular. Gunaikos tells me it's feminine genitive singular. What would be the feminine genitive singular? Number 3, radies. Onomata. Oh, onomata. Well, it looks like it looks like a feminine, but it could be a neuter plural. Well, let's see if there's a feminine choice. No feminine choice, therefore it's neuter plural. Ta, onomata. Now, talking about formation of adverbs. Adjectives in English can have an add-on to make them a adverb. What do we add on to an adjective in English to make an adverb? Os. Therefore, in Greek, it works a lot the same way. Kale, pretty or beautiful. When you add kalos, you get beautifully. Alathes, alathes, which is a two-termination adjective, same idea though. You end up with os. Take, which is adjective, meaning swift. Takeos, swiftly, versus bradeia, adverb meaning bradeos. Talk about prepositions. Prepositions are, well, there's a nice circle. So, for the National Greek exam, they won't ask you what case goes with the prepositions, not like Latin. Instead, they're going to be asking you questions about what's an opposite or what does it mean. So I paired them up together. As we see in the chart, hupo is under, huper is over. So the chart can be read oppo. Here we have oppo, toward, and pardon me, from, and we have pros, the opposite, toward. What else do we have? We have ek and ace. Ek, out of, ace, into. Hooper and hoopo we already talked about, above and above. And below, anti is against, while, as in the word antimatter, antichrist, if you like, or pro in front of, as in problem, but there's also prohibition, etc., etc. In other words, it comes from pro. But if you remember, pro and con is against. Dia, a nice meeting, that with the accusative means through, pardon me, with the genitive means through, with the accusative because. You also have n, in, epi, upon, or on. Meta, with the genitive it's with the accusative it's after, but let's say with meta it's with, which is very similar to the Greek preposition sun, meaning together, and then peri, same as Latin, circum, around. Preposition, it means on both sides. Oh, I didn't see that one over there. Yes, we did. Amphi. Actually, we didn't on this chart, but it is in your including. It means that for, oh look, they give you those nice ones. Well, let's see here. What's your mother, the worst person to take to the prom? Your mother? Which one was the worst answer? Meta. And you end up with para and peri. Peri is a good one, that means around. Para is past, or like paranormal. So what do you end up with? You end up with the word pro, for, or before. Preposition that means into. Epi, para, ace, pros. Pros, well, let's say para we just talked about was past. That's your mother. Here's your cross-eyed cousin. Probably going to be two ways to look at it. Epi is upon. Pros means toward. So therefore, I think the best choice here, of course, is ace, into. Well, that was the first example of a grammar lecture from Google Docs for Beta. We're going to be adding more to it. This chapter is the wind-up into the official National Greek exam. We're winding up everything we need to know so that every student can get the greatest score possible. As always, if you're unsure of anything, see me in office.